welcome to Premiere 15 of the Internal Map of Reality. Now, for most of you who have been watching along, following, we've did our initial flyby of the key units for the introduction to meditation and the introduction to the internal map. So we now have all that information archived and available to anyone who wants to watch it. What we'll be doing now is going through the material at a nice, easy pace, breaking it down and digesting it in smaller units. So today we'll be looking at the mainly the first session, and in the comments section, I will provide the links to session 1. There's 3 parts, and if you want, you can go and go through that material at your leisure. So it's there as a reference. And what I will do is pick clips from that to discuss. So we'll do our 1-minute meditation as normal. And then after that, there'll be a clip from session 1. And then follow that. I'll break it down, do a further discussion. And if I receive emails or messages with questions, I will answer it in there as well, that discussion session. And this also leaves time for our guests, for Rose or anyone else who wants to join me to discuss any segment in greater detail. So I'm kind of hoping this will allow for us to eventually be able to do live streams or Skype calls or any kind of combination we want. So sit back and relax, and we'll do our 1-minute meditation now, followed by our clip from session 1. Enjoy. Now, in part 2 of this, we're going to be looking at what a map is. We're going to take a very high-level view, and then, of course, each session will be drilling in deeper and deeper into what a map is, what the internal map is. So basically, we all know what a map is. A map is a piece of paper that tells you how to get from point A to point B. It's not the actual location, but if you want to get from, say, Halifax to Toronto, I need a map. And even though I know generally how to get to Toronto from here, if I'm going to jump in my car and drive, I'm going to pull up a map which is going to show me the streets to go on, the highways to take, etc., etc. So it's detailed instructions on how to get from point A to point B. Now, it's very important to realize that the map itself doesn't really tell you anything other than, where's the next place you have to go. It doesn't have any, what I call, content. So a map is really content free. It's basically step-by-step instructions on how to get to where you. It doesn't really tell you how to drive the car. It doesn't really tell you what you have to wear and dress. It doesn't tell you what the weather's like. It doesn't tell you whether you'll like your destination. It just tells you how to get there. So our internal map is similar, except for one difference. Our internal map contains information about all of our experiences in the past. And it has information about what we are experiencing in the present. And then on top of that, it has a detailed expectation of what will happen to us or to you in the future. So it's basically your roadmap of what's happened in your past. What you're experiencing right now provides what is called filters. You filter your present based on your past, and you filter your present based on where you think you want to go into the future. So the key here is that the map contains everything you experienced. Now, it also is focused around beliefs. So if you take everything you experienced in the past, you have formed certain beliefs about yourself and about your world. These beliefs that are embedded into your map determine your behavior. So if your history, your past, had really negative experiences and you really had a difficult time, then you might have beliefs that the world is a hard place. If, however, in your past you had a really easy time and everything was a piece of cake and you got whatever you wanted, and if you needed to go somewhere, you could go. If you needed to buy something, there were no restrictions. You might have a belief that says you can get anything you want at any time. So these beliefs are developed over time and are embedded unconsciously into your map, into your personality. So when we start digging into beliefs and I ask you to identify your beliefs, you might have great difficulty. You might go, oh, I don't know what I believe, Steve, And we might even have to pull them out of you one at a time. Here's an indicator. If you believe something, it's probably something that you spend a lot of time doing right now. It's something that you believe you can do, something you believe you should do. So another example would be if someone believes that they need to get an education to get further in life, then they're going to be in school and they're going to work really hard to achieve their education. And guess what? They are going to get what they believe. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if what you believe, you tend to get. And the key here I like to look at is that it's mostly unconscious. So all of your experiences that develop your beliefs about your world go unconscious, yet it is a big part of how you conduct yourself on a day-to-day basis. It becomes an automatic response. So you will respond automatically to the world around you. And a lot of times, this response is really there to protect you. It's, I mentioned most of you have heard about the fight or flight response. People don't want to get hurt. So I know when I'm talking to people, quite often I can see that. Okay, I think I'll just pause it right there and break it down a little bit. There was quite a bit in, I think that was about a 5 or 6 minute clip there. Just to break it down a little bit, when I was watching it again and just reviewing it and thinking, well, what's the key point here that might be worthwhile zooming into? And I think the key one here is that our map will focus us on things. So the statement that I made about you will know what your beliefs are because those are the things that you spend most of your time doing. And it occurred to me that one of the hacks that our culture, our society has done to us, it has occupied our time through television and through the media, movies, and through our electronic devices. More and more of our time is being occupied. Also, if you have a eating habit, or if you have a drug habit, if you like to smoke or drink alcohol or whatever, that consumes time. So there are all these things that are built into our society to consume our time, to occupy us. Now, if these things weren't there, where would we put our energy? Where would we focus our time? And this becomes very, very important because later on, as we get further into our belief system, I believe that what I was trying to get at here is that our maps have been infiltrated, have been co-opted. We spend vast amounts of time and energy on things that are not core and fundamental to who we are and what we are doing. So what we'll be doing in our study of the internal map is recognizing the parts of our map that are resourceful, that are really there to improve our life, and that are really there, that are core to what is important to you and to me. The moment you do that, the moment you isolate irrelevant material, things that have been hacked and entered into your map from the greater outside world, and you isolate them, and slowly over time, this will not happen overnight, although I might say there have been incidents where things have happened rather spectacularly overnight, but normally they don't. So with our internal map, it's all our experiences, but what I'm hitting at here is that a portion, and for some people, a large portion of those experiences are externalized, are hacks, are consuming you. So just beginning with that one process alone in filtering out the things that are not resourceful, this will significantly improve your life. I can't stress that enough because I look at my own life and I go back and I look over my timeline, and it's very obvious to me that I consumed a lot of my energy, a lot of my time, things that I should have invested time and energy and love in, I didn't because I was too busy with these things that were inserted into my map. So cleansing your map, cleansing your timeline is what we'll be getting into and focusing it. And I think that's probably enough for tonight's thing. I will go through my emails. I think I saw one email there. I didn't have time to get it incorporated today. But my goal is during this discussion period is to drill down into specific things. And again, some of these discussions will be held live when available. I'm hoping that Rose will have time to participate. And I'm thinking of introducing some other people that can help spread light into this and share. Also, I'm thinking of organizing a group Skype call for those who would like to discuss. So get back to me, send me an email, let me know if that's something you would like to do. And I think at this point, I'll call it a day. And these premieres will be, some of them longer than others. Tonight's one is a little bit short, but it's okay. If, again, when I was watching that video, there was a couple of times I just wanted to stop it there. So breaking things down, zooming in is very, very important. Well, thanks for taking the time. Please look at the links provided in the comments, and you can go through and identify clips that are important to you. And you could send me a time and tell me the clip, tell me the which part you're looking at, part 1, 2, or 3 of what session, and give me a timestamp, and I'll go there and look at it and maybe include that in next week's session. Well, again, have a great week and practice your meditations, and we will continue drilling down into the internal map of reality.